Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your favorite English bulletin, The News. You're broadcasting live from TVT studios here in Lomé. Here are the headlines. At a critical juncture for peace in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, Lomé is hosting a high-level diplomatic meeting designed to turn African commitments into concrete action. Led by the President of the Council for Esazuna Nyasingbe, the meeting seeks greater coherence in stabilization efforts across the Great Lakes region. Senegal. Once again, the Lions of Teranga lifted the AFCON 2025 trophy after edging Morocco in a tense final played on Moroccan soil, securing their second continental title. Stay with us, we'll bring you all the details shortly. Pleasure to have you join us. Ending overlapping mediations and restoring strategic clarity. That is the ambition of the high-level meeting on peace and stability in the Great Lakes region convened in Lomé at the initiative of the President of the Council for Esazuna Nyasingbe, African Union mediator for the DRC crisis. The objective is clear: move from fragmented initiatives to a unified, results-driven African peace process, particularly in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Gabriel Ayena brings us more.
The Great Lakes region is at the heart of African diplomacy. In Lomé, a high-level meeting devoted to peace and stability in the Great Lakes region, initiated by the President of the Council for Esazuna Nyasingbe, African Union mediator for the crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo, aims to strengthen the coherence and effectiveness of African stabilization efforts in the eastern parts of the country. Presented as a pivotal moment in the peace process, the Lomé meeting reflects a clear determination to move beyond assessments and declarations of intent. It brought together prominent figures from across the continent, notably the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, as well as members of the AU panel of facilitators, made up of former African heads of state committed to achieving lasting peace in Eastern DRC. Discussions were structured around four key pillars. The first is to make this meeting a moment of truth for African action. The second focuses on strengthening the strategic coherence of political, institutional, and operational initiatives with the goal of ending fragmented mediation efforts and the proliferation of intervention frameworks. The third priority is to render the unified African process fully operational by ensuring the effective implementation of decisions already adopted with clearly defined roles, strengthened instruments, and a realistic roadmap. Finally, the President of the Council emphasized the need to integrate the humanitarian, social, and economic dimensions of the conflict. In his view, peace cannot be reduced to the signing of agreements. It must be measured by tangible improvements in the living conditions of affected populations. Representatives of the African Union, the holding of this meeting, which they believe paves the way for a resolutely African and more coherent approach to peace in the Great Lakes region, in coordination with ongoing international initiatives, notably those led in Washington, Doha, and Paris.
And still in line with this diplomatic meeting, the President of the Council for Esazuna Nyasingbe held talks this Saturday with Viviane van de Peer, Special Representative of the UN Secretary General in the Democratic Republic of Congo and acting head of MONUSCO. The meeting highlighted international recognition of President Nyasingbe's commitment and mediation initiatives aimed at fostering a coordinated and effective response to the crisis in DRC. Let's listen to her remarks after the audience.
I have come to Togo at the invitation of the government as mediator of the African Union to discuss the future of the Congo and how the mediation can lead us to a comprehensive peace. I salute the efforts of His Excellency for Nyasingbe in all his efforts to help all the mediation processes to come together so that we have a coordinated and effective response to the very grave situation in the Eastern Congo. We are very pleased to be here and support the President and his mediation team in bringing together all these various mediations who all are wanting the same thing, which is to help Congo finally achieve the peace that it's been waiting for so long. The population is suffering and it is upon us to find solutions that bring a durable peace. I'm very grateful to President Faure to have received us, and we have offered him our full support as MONUSCO and as UN to do what we can to support his efforts.
And the crisis in the Great Lakes region continues to draw strong attention from the United States. During an audience also on Saturday, the U.S. Director for Central African Affairs, Keith Gilgis, reaffirmed Washington's concern and expressed the American government's appreciation for the President of the Council for Nyasimbe's leadership in the search for lasting solutions in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's watch.
Well, I was very grateful to have the opportunity to chat with the President today. We're having a meeting later on with the African Union and a number of other international partners to really look toward developing a durable and lasting peace in Eastern DRC. And I wanted to make clear in my meeting today how important African leadership is to this process and how grateful we are to President Faure for his leadership, for the participation of the 5 facilitators, former heads of state, and how we believe it is really the third leg of the stool to find a lasting and durable peace. As I said, we have the Washington process, there is the Doha process, and there is the AU process, and all 3 are essential to finding a lasting solution.
And just like the UN and the USA, Qatar has reiterated its support for efforts towards peace in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Ahmed Eza Al-Saliati, representative of the Qatari Minister of State, was received by the President of the Council for Nyasimbe and praised his commitment to sustainable solutions, while reaffirming Qatar's readiness to accompany Togo in this diplomatic initiative. To other stories, along the Kara River, market gardening has become a lifeline for dozens of families. Chosen as an income-generating activity, it helps producers meet daily needs, but behind the green fields lie real economic and environmental challenges. This report tells us more about how these producers overcome all the obstacles to sustain their livelihoods and support their communities and the nation at large.
Along the banks of the Kara River, plots of market gardening bear witness to the dynamism of riverside communities. For many producers, market gardening represents an opportunity for economic integration and a local response to the issue of employment. Some farmers have been engaged in this activity for several decades, as far back as in the 1970s, working with consistency and dedication. Market gardening is a demanding activity. Land preparation, nursery work, transplanting, watering, weeding, and crop treatment structure the producer's daily routine. These sustained efforts, when properly managed, yield satisfactory results and, in the long run, helps farmers improve their livelihoods. The success of crops also depends on soil characteristics. On the left bank of the Kara River, certain crops adapt better than others to local conditions. Although farms are individually operated, producers have organized themselves into groups, notably with the Historical Association, in order to strengthen cooperation and facilitate access to potential supports.
Créé pour pouvoir mieux réussir, mieux se conseiller.
We created the association to succeed better, to advise one another in our activities, and to be able to access loans for the development of our market gardening. When it comes to loans and assistance, you cannot apply individually. You need an association, and together, a loan can be granted. In managing their crops, producers pay close attention to the quality of products intended for consumption. Women traders source their produce directly from the production sites before heading to the markets. In recent years, producers have faced several constraints, notably the availability of water. This challenge arises in a context of climate variability and increasing irrigation needs. The growing use of motor pumps raises the issue of coordinated and sustainable management of the Kara River's water resources.
And at the southern entrance of the city of Kara, the locality of Ateda is home to a center dedicated to people living with visual impairments. The St. Paul Center for the Blind provides academic and vocational training to the visually impaired. In this report that follows, we take you inside the center to discover a place where disability does not silence ambition. Alhefana Chugan has more.
At the southern entrance of the city of Kara, just a few steps from the National Institute of Hygiene, stands the St. Paul Center for the Blind in Ateda, established in 1991, a place of learning, hope, and seeing the world differently.
Nous faisons la formation professionnelle, la formation scolaire.
We produce both vocational and academic training. For academic education, we offer only primary schooling within the center. We follow the official national curriculum. The same program taught to children without disabilities. After obtaining the primary school certificate, the pupils go on to attend other schools alongside sighted children. As for vocational training, it is intended for adults, those who, because of age and other reasons, are unable to attend school. They are children, adolescents, young people, and adults, all deprived of sight but not of dreams. Parents entrust them to this center with a firm conviction: disability is not a fatality. Here, students learn braille reading, fingers replace eyes, concentration is total, and every gesture matters. A little further on, another activity takes place: the production of chalk, a simple but essential product. Supplied to schools, this chalk helps finance the center and, above all, provide a practical trade. Some former trainees have passed through these halls and are now independent. They work, earn a living from their skills, and sometimes return to mentor the younger ones, proving that success is possible. Founded by Mizu Kofi and supported by Italian benefactors, notably Papa Riccardo Placchetta, the center has trained generations. Yet today, it is going through difficult times. The support of the past has drained, and even basic needs have become a challenge. Braille equipment is scarce and expensive, and without sufficient resources, it is difficult to help learners settle into independent life after their training. Still, the St. Paul Center for the Blind continues to stand, thanks to the determination and solidarity. Today, an appeal is being made to all people of goodwill so that, despite the darkness, the future remains visible.
And from disability not being inability, 4 years after their first triumph, Senegal have written another golden page in their football history. Victorious against Morocco in the AFCON 2025 finals, which took place this Sunday, the Lions of Teranga lifted their second African Cup of Nations trophy to the immense joy of Senegalese fans at home and across the diaspora. Gabriel Ayena brings us more in the following report.
The trophy being handed over.
Senegal have claimed their second African Cup of Nations title following a hard-fought final against Morocco. The match was played in Morocco during the 2025 edition of the tournament, making Senegalese 18th appearance at the African Cup of Nations finals. Sadio Mane and his teammates dominated large phases of the encounter, but the 90 minutes of regulation time ended goalless. A key moment came in the 94th minute with a highly contested penalty that sparked strong reactions on the pitch, as Pape Thiao's men show clear determination and resilience. The spot kick taken by Morocco's Brahim Diaz was brilliantly saved by Senegalese goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, keeping the score at 0-0. The match then went into extra time, 2 periods of 15 minutes, and it was during this phase that the Lions of Teranga finally made the difference, sealing victory and etching their names into African football history. With this triumph, Senegal add a second star to their crest following their first continental title in 2021, a moment of pure joy for the nation and its fans.
And absolutely for that matter, thousands of cheering fans lined up the streets of Dakar as the Lions of Teranga returned home with their second AFCON title. President of Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, personally welcomed the team, celebrating a historic victory that has united the nation in pride and joy. Let's watch.
Senegal's national football team returned to Dakar on Monday, champions of the Africa Cup of Nations. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye was there to welcome the players. He praised them for their single-minded focus throughout the continental tournament. During the entire competition, while watching them play, we felt that they had this mission in mind and that they had it in their hearts to bring back this cup and to make the Senegalese people proud. They did it heroically, they played beautiful football, they were incredibly fair, and they were exemplary, both on and off the field. We can only be proud of them. The Teranga Lions beat hosts Morocco 1-0 during a chaotic final on Saturday that at one point saw Senegal fans try to storm the field. Players have received criticism from some commentators for walking off the pitch in protest at a penalty decision. But the jubilant fans in Dakar had nothing but praise for their team and gave them a hero's welcome. We're here to celebrate our cup, the champions of Africa, to welcome the players, the Senegalese players, our African champion Sadio Mane, and the entire Senegalese team. We're happy today. We're proud to be Senegalese. We are happy. This is Senegal's second Africa Cup win. In 2022, the team beat Egypt 4-2 after a penalty shootout.
And may this triumph inspire us all never to give up, because with God, everything is possible. That brings us to the end of today's edition. Thanks to my wonderful team and to you, viewers, for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more updates. Have a wonderful evening. Until next time, goodbye.